This week on the Digital Coffee, there are changes coming to LinkedIn company pages, and they're good ones. Facebook is about to launch its Shop tab in the UK, and Firefox, the internet browser, is adding tighter restriction to cookies and privacy. All that and more after this. Good morning, and welcome to the Digital Coffee. This is your weekly dose of digital marketing and social media news for small business. My name is Amanda Webb, and I am clasping my cup as usual, looking into it. It is so empty. It shall fill with coffee once this show is done. I would love if you just let me know if we're sharing this coffee break together. What is it that is in your mug? Is it tea? Is it coffee? Is it something else? And if you're on Facebook and you leave a comment, you will get by messenger a copy of the Digital Coffee newspaper so that you can go and review all the stories I talk about in your own time afterwards with links and extra stuff. I also have a question of the week, and I can see some of you are answering already. The question of the week is, do you listen to audiobooks? And I have to say myself, I do have an Audible account with a lot of credit on it. I think I've listened to I used to listen to them in my car when I was driving long distance. And of course, that's not happened anymore. I've got more than enough podcasts to keep me going for when I go out for walks. Here's Ginny, who says she does listen to audiobooks and she may have disappeared by now, but is coming back to watch on replay. Good morning to Shane, who says no, he doesn't listen to audiobooks. Not a big book reader, so audiobooks don't do anything for me. I do listen to some podcasts and a lot of YouTube tutorial content. See, I am a big book reader, and yeah, I don't know, I much prefer reading a book than listening to it, but it is kind of handy. It is kind of handy when you're driving, because obviously I can't sit there and read a book then. Mary says, I love audiobooks on the BorrowBox app. Is that the library app? I think I heard about BorrowBox, which sounds amazing. I am a member of the library, so I should definitely check that out. So keep leaving your comments. If you don't want to answer any of those questions, just say hello. You'll still get the copy of the newspaper. If you are on YouTube, do say hello as well. I'd love to know who's watching on YouTube. I know a few people now are preferring YouTube, so give me a shout if you're there. And, well, we better get on with the news, eh?
Hi, I'm Charlie Lawrence, and you're watching The Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb.
Employees, if you have them, can be the best advocates for your business and for sharing your social content so that you can reach a wider audience. It's the easiest group of people to get to share your content because, of course, they're invested in what you do. And LinkedIn knows this, and I think this is what is behind some of the LinkedIn updates that we're going to see coming over the coming weeks. And these are updates to the LinkedIn company pages. And I would say they're specifically aimed at, well, not small businesses like myself, who only has myself as an employee on LinkedIn. I think these are aimed at businesses that may have a number of employees, but it could be really useful. The first update that they have coming is, and this has been available on Elevate, which is a paid part of LinkedIn for company pages, but now they're giving some of those features to businesses for free. This first feature is a My Company tab, or a My Business tab, and that tab is just for employees. And in this tab, there will be trending content from the company, curated content. So you as a company page admin will be able to add the content that you would most like people to share there. So it's one place that they can go and they will find the content to share. Also then, you're going to get analytics for this. So you'll be able to see what impact this sharing from employees has had on your reach on your LinkedIn company page in general, which is really good. So that's the first update. The second update is product pages. Now, when they say product, they don't mean e-commerce. They don't mean that. They mean kind of like if you've got software products, that sort of product. And within the product page, both the people who create the products or people who've used the product will be able to go in and talk about the product and offer advice and ask questions. One really cool feature here is that people will be able to click a learn more on the product page on the product itself, and that will open up a lead form. And this is like the lead forms you get on Facebook. It will just be a form you fill in on LinkedIn. It will automatically populate with your name and email address because LinkedIn knows that information. And then you'll be able to ask your question privately to the company. So I think this could be really useful if you're in that business of selling software or something else very business to business related. And it's interesting to see these updates from LinkedIn. Obviously, ads isn't the only income stream for LinkedIn. They've been quite smart about their various different products that you can clamp on to your LinkedIn experience. But clearly, the people who can afford to advertise on LinkedIn are going to be those larger companies who have software products or large ticket item products that they sell business to business. So by giving those companies more features, they may engage more on LinkedIn and they may see more value from advertising. So from a marketing perspective, it's really interesting to see how they are using this. Lots of people jumping in. Sylvia, great to see you, Sylvia. Having coffee, audiobooks sometimes, but I'm funny about voices. If I don't like the reading style, that's me gone. And actually that will tie into, because you know that I've got a story talking about this, that will tie into the story I have related to this. Mary says, highly recommend BorrowBox can get 5 audio and 5 ebooks. Does that mean real books at a time, I think? And you can renew easily too. Lots of choice, lots of business, lots of fiction. Get it. I must, I would get it. But if I twisted my camera around here, you would see the number of books, quite a few of which I still have to get through that I already have. So I joined the library, and I think I've taken 1 book out because then I end up never reading the books that I have. Good morning to Deirdre, who is always watching on YouTube. It's so great to have you watching on YouTube. 1, because I know it's working, and 2, I'm just glad that, even though you don't use Facebook so much, I can still reach you. Good morning to Kate, who's drinking tea. You've got back into audiobooks and you're enjoying them, but I have to sit and listen. I can't multitask or I lose focus on the book. You know what happens to me if I sit and listen to an audiobook? I fall asleep. I have to be doing some mundane task. Mundane, because it can't be while I'm working, obviously, because my brain power, such as it is, needs to go into working. But I can do it when I'm cleaning the dishes or when I'm mowing the lawn. These are tasks when I can listen to books, ebooks. Good morning to Katie. Thank you for joining me. Happy Friday to you as well. We've got more news, so I better get on with it.
Hey, it's Andy at Content Cal here, and you're watching A Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb.
If you want to get more traction on YouTube right now, the one thing that you could do is to create shorts. These are short videos up to 60 seconds in length that are shot vertically. These are the rules of shorts. And if you just post a 60-second video, or up to 60 seconds, the shorter the better, vertical video, and you use the hashtag shorts in the description, that will become a short and YouTube will throw it out to a whole lot of different users. And basically this is their idea of TikTok. So where if you want to succeed on Instagram at the moment, use Reels. On YouTube, it seems to be shorts. But that's not all shorts are. Shorts is actually an app that you can get, well, you could get if you're in India, to create TikTok style videos, short videos, multi-clip videos. You can shoot it all within the app itself. You can add stickers, you can add music. It looks exactly like TikTok. Here it is. And it was initially just launched in India. And if we remember back to last year, in India, they banned TikTok. There's a bit of a thing going on between China and India at the moment, and they banned TikTok. So a lot of the apps that were coming up with their TikTok clones launched there first. And it hasn't been launched elsewhere until now. And now you will be able to get this Shorts app in the United States. Yeah, I know it's not here yet, but the fact that they're rolling it out to the United States does signal that they're going to be rolling it out to more users globally very soon. The beta test is over. Now they're rolling it out to more users. So we can expect to see more TikTok-like content, more Reels-like content on YouTube. And I think this could bring in a whole bundle of new users into YouTube. Do you think, though, that by having these short videos, that's what YouTube will become? I mean, they've been losing market share to TikTok already. That's where the influencers want to be. Do you think people are going to be less inclined to watch longer videos on YouTube, or will there always be a space for what YouTube traditionally does best, which is those longer videos? Katie says, great advice. She's going to try shorts. I think some people are even getting it without tagging. They're getting extra reach. Now, the thing with shorts is there's a whole lot of thing that it doesn't count towards your watch time on channels, which means it doesn't decrease your... There's a whole science to it. I haven't tried it yet, but I am interested to see what results people get. So maybe I will give it a try. I've been practicing a lot of stuff with Reels and TikTok later, not for public consumption, for fun, but I am looking forward to using that style of video, wherever it happens to be, more in the future.
Hi, I'm Kyra Fingleton from Glamping Under the Stars, and you're watching The Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb.
Retailers, if you haven't set up your Facebook shop yet, get setting up. I know I've talked about this a lot, and the fact that you need to have a website as well as a Facebook shop, and you do, but really, get your Facebook shop in order now. And the reason I am saying that is because Facebook have just launched their shop tab. So that's separate to your individual Facebook shop, their shop tab in the UK. And in this tab, you go into this tab and it's like going into a department store. You'll be able to browse products, both from the people you follow, but also products that Facebook thinks that you're going to be interested in. So as a retailer, this is going to give you far more reach to new people, because you've got that opportunity to appear in the shop tab. They don't have to just discover you by going to your page or discover you by seeing something in the feed. So it looks kind of fun. I can see myself wasting a lot of time looking through this shop tab when we get it. It's hitting the UK and Canada this week. And again, not Ireland. Sometimes Ireland gets things first. I'm not going to complain too much, but it would be nice. I am imagining if they're rolling it out to these regions, it won't be long until we see it. And I do think with the pandemic, the shop tab here, I think Pinterest are doing something similar. It is, as far as it can, replicating that high street experience where you're going to be able to look in shop windows and see things that you might be able to buy. It is bringing a little bit more of that real life shopping experience online. So I'm kind of excited about this. If you sell to the UK already, make sure you've got your shop set up, because your products might appear here, but definitely make sure you've got it set up so that by the time this hits Ireland, you are ready to go.
Hello, this is Rob Charles, the voice of Mike on Forever FM on Peter Kay's Car Share. BAFTA award winning, I've got to say, but I've not seen the BAFTA yet. Anyway, you're watching The Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb. Enjoy. I'm on tea. Shh.
What is the best content type for your audience? Is it blog posts or videos? Could it be audio? Could it be audio? We know 2021 is already shaping up to be the year of audio. Clubhouse has taken off big time, the audio only social network. Twitter's audio spaces seems to be gaining popularity too. We've got all the social networks adding audio messaging and audio tools. So the sound of your voice is going to be huge. And this is where the question about listening to audiobooks comes in. We know already that, I'm almost saying the wrong word, so I have to be careful. Spotify, not Shopify, Spotify is an audio only network. When we think about it, it used to just be a place where we streamed music. Now music creators can even create stories there. We know that then they adapted to podcasts, and now they're introducing a new tool that could make it easier for you, if you're not quite ready to launch a full podcast, to actually get your audio onto Spotify. And this is automatically transcribing, I don't know if that's the right word, blog posts into audio files, which will then be attached to Anchor, which is a podcasting tool, which will then play on Spotify. So this is great. If you've got some really good in-depth blog posts, this is an audio version. So people, when they are doing something else, will be able to listen to it. It's obviously great for accessibility because people won't need to necessarily even have a screen reader. They'll just be able to listen to your words of wisdom there on Spotify. Of course, it's going to be harder to drive people to your website because they will be listening on Spotify, not on your website, but that's another concern. But the problem, I think, is, somebody said if they don't like the person who's reading the book, if they don't like their sound of their voice, they won't keep listening. And this is going to be a problem because this is going to be an automated voice. And I don't know if you've ever had Alexa, see how I said that so I wouldn't set it off. I don't know if you've ever had Alexa read you one of your Kindle books, because even though it's a lovely voice, it just sounds a little bit robotic. So until voicing like that gets better, I'm not sure this is something I want to listen to, but it does give you the option as a creator to quickly create a new version for audio for Spotify, which could give you that extra reach. So good and bad there. Katie says she's just got the TubeBuddy Legend plan, so you better get going. I use TubeBuddy I'd say every day, but every week, a couple of times a week for my YouTube channel, and it's fascinating. I'm really enjoying using it. So I hope you enjoy that one, Katie. So if you don't listen to audiobooks already, would you listen to this? Would you listen to podcasts with an automated voice? I'd love to hear your thoughts on that.
Hi, I'm Lee from Wellshot, and you're watching The Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb. Cheers.
Do your customers trust you? I'm laughing because this is a problem that WhatsApp are having right now, isn't it? You may remember that earlier this year, WhatsApp wanted to introduce a new privacy policy. It was partly to facilitate some new features that they're adding for business related to shopping, which I think are kind of cool features. But in order to launch those features, they would need to share some WhatsApp data, particularly when people were messaging businesses with Facebook. And guess what? WhatsApp users don't trust Facebook. They don't trust WhatsApp. They do not want this to happen. So there was an outcry. People started leaving. They started going to other tools that were doing it. There was an outcry. It was covered on the news. It did not go well. People weren't going to accept this privacy policy, which means that they would have their accounts revoked. So Facebook / WhatsApp decided to pull back on this a little bit, give them a little bit longer to decide if they were going to do it. And they've relaunched this privacy policy, but maybe in a better, more consistent, more transparent way, where they explain exactly what they're going to do with the data. I think the original one was just one line that said we're going to share some of your data with Facebook, and that really freaked people out. This new policy goes into the details of why they're doing this and what the benefits are for both the customer and for the businesses of allowing this privacy policy. So let's see how this goes. Will it keep more users? Will it? And also, interestingly, I was listening to a report on the radio about this, and they were saying, well, maybe it doesn't matter if they lose all those users because they'll get new users when their tool becomes better. Who knows? Who knows? I already agreed to the privacy policy. So if you do get this new one, I'd love to see a screenshot. Do share it with me.
This is May King from The FOMO Creator, and you're watching The Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb.
Cookies on websites. They can be useful sometimes because, you don't have to go and log into a website every single time you visit it if you wanted to visit it. Imagine that on Facebook. Well, it would certainly cut back on the time I'd spend on Facebook if I had to put in my long, complicated password every single time that I access Facebook. So, cookies do have their uses, but I think most people are a little bit uncomfortable about cookies that track your activity on the internet. So that means, you go to one site, it attaches something to you and it follows you around the internet and looks at every page you look at and starts profiling you so that they can serve better ads to you. So mostly we're talking about the Facebook Pixel, the Google Pixel, all those tracking tools that really help your ads be more personalized and maybe better. So people don't like this. I can understand. It sounds creepy. It sounds weird. Maybe we don't want the big tech companies having all that information about us. And we've seen that several companies have tried to crack down on this. We know that the iOS 14 update is coming to Facebook, which is going to wreck the way that we've been running Facebook ads. We've also seen that Android is looking at its own version of that iOS 14 update that maybe not quite as strict, because of course Google runs ads, so it understands that something needs to happen there. And now Firefox, which is a browser that has always been hot on privacy, is adding a new cookie thingy bob. I don't know how to explain it. They're calling it total cookie protection. So here's their diagram that shows you what happens. Basically, you go onto various websites and all those cookies go into one big cookie jar. If you enable total cookie protection, what's going to happen is the cookies will still be there, but they will be restricted to the website that you're on. So a website might go, all right, here's my Google Analytics registering. There is a visitor to my website. They've looked at all these pages and they bought something in that session. And maybe for as long as that cookie stays, it will measure what they do on your website, which is great for marketers still. But what it won't do is allow that cookie to attach to you and travel around the internet with you as you go, profiling you in that way. It's an interesting update. It isn't going to be great for like ad targeting, which really relies on this stuff. But I do think, it is a helpful way of, it's almost a compromise, because it's letting us marketers still have a bit of stuff while it is protecting users. And I think this could make the Firefox browser more enticing for people. It is the third biggest internet browser in the world. After Chrome is number 1, Safari is number 2, and Firefox is number 3. So will we see more people migrating to it because they're adding updates like this? It is going to be so interesting to see.
Hi, I'm Carmel Siri and you're watching Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb.
Is it you or is it Facebook? This is a question I find myself asking all the time. You'll be creating some ads and something doesn't work properly and you're like, is that because I've made a mistake? Why are all these errors coming up? Or is it Facebook just being glitchy? And I tend to go, well, I'm just going to assume it's Facebook, go away, come back later. But now you'll actually be able to check. You will actually be able to check. Facebook have a new status website where you will be able to check on the status of Facebook ads and the status of WhatsApp. So you'll be able to see immediately, is there a known issue with Facebook ads at the moment? If so, go away. If not, maybe you need to review what you've done on the ads platform. What's really interesting to me is when you click in to look at the history. So you'll be able to see how many glitches they actually have over a period of time. And maybe it's not as many as I expected, but it is frequently glitchy. So this at least will help you understand if it's you or if it's Facebook. And also it helps you understand, Facebook's not perfect. Of course, there's going to be glitches in that code sometimes. And look how quickly they get fixed. Lots of comments coming in. Sylvia says, no, automated voice would be a deal breaker. Yeah, for me as well. But then I do much prefer reading a book than listening to a book. That's such a funny picture. A cookie attaches to you and follows you around. Yeah, and if it was a real cookie, I would eat it. So it would be gone. So it wouldn't be tracking me anymore. Deirdre says it's absolutely time somebody listened to people's fear of digital cookies. And a lot of the time I think it's because something we don't understand completely. Until we wipe all our cookies and we have to log into all those sites again, there are benefits to us of having a cookie, even if we don't want that continuous tracking going on. And I love that Firefox is giving us that option, even though, you know, things like this are going to make the life of a marketer a lot harder. I think we have to understand that that's what people want at the end of the day. So thank you all for watching. Thank you for all your wonderful comments. I will be back next week, same bat time, same bat place. Until